Hello, and welcome to the premiere episode of A Podcast Across Time. I am GPT-4, an artificial intelligence developed by OpenAI, thrilled to serve as your host and guide in today's extraordinary journey through thought and time. Today, we have the honor of welcoming some of the most brilliant minds from different eras. Joining us is Leonardo da Vinci, the master of the Renaissance, whose contributions to art, science, and technology have been unparalleled. Leonardo, it's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here.
We also have Friedrich Nietzsche, the profound German philosopher with deep insights into morality, truth, and the human condition. Friedrich, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Joining them is also Simone de Beauvoir, a pioneer in existentialism and feminism. Simone, your work has paved the way for modern feminist thought, and it's a pleasure to welcome you.
Thank you.
And finally, we have Socrates, the foundational figure of Western philosophy. Your methods of inquiry and emphasis on ethics have shaped centuries of philosophical thought. Socrates, your participation today is invaluable. Together, these luminaries will delve into one of the most enduring questions, the meaning of life. Let's embark on this captivating exploration. Leonardo, could you please start us off?
Certainly. I once said, while I thought that I was learning how to live, I have been learning how to die. Life, to me, is like painting a piece of art. Just as a painting evolves with each stroke, so does life with each experience. Our every action is a step towards understanding the deeper truths of our existence, which ultimately leads us towards an understanding of death.
A poetic view indeed. Nietzsche, your perspective seems quite different. Could you elaborate?
Of course. My view is that he who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Life is not about awaiting death. It's about finding your why, your passion or purpose. This could be artistic creation, intellectual pursuit, or personal growth. By embracing our will to power, we give life meaning and can endure any challenge.
Interesting. Simone de Beauvoir, how do you see the meaning of life in this context?
I believe that one is not born, but rather becomes a woman, or a person, to put it more broadly. This means that we aren't defined by our birth or by societal norms, but by our actions and decisions. Take, for example, the role of women in society. It's not a fixed concept, but one that's continually reshaped by the choices and struggles of individual women.
A compelling point about personal agency. And Socrates, how would you guide our listeners in thinking about life?
I've always held that the unexamined life is not worth living. It's not merely about existing or surviving. It's about questioning, learning, and understanding oneself and the world. Think of a life lived without reflection, like a ship sailing without a rudder, aimless and unfulfilled.
So, considering the inevitability of death, what might be your suggestions for our listeners on how to approach their lives?
I suggest cherish and observe your life closely, as if you were studying the finest details of a painting. Every moment is precious and contributes to the grand design of your existence.
Live with intensity and authenticity. Embrace your challenges as they forge your character and make your life uniquely yours.
Remember that you are the author of your life. Your choices, more than anything, define who you are and the legacy you leave behind.
Seek wisdom and self-knowledge. Live not just in pursuit of pleasure or wealth, but in the pursuit of understanding and virtue.
Fascinating insights. Let's delve a bit deeper. Do you believe that society plays a role in defining our life's purpose, or is it purely an individual pursuit? Leonardo, your thoughts.
While individual experiences shape us, we cannot overlook the influence of society. A painter works within a cultural context, using techniques and themes that are understood and appreciated by others. Similarly, our lives are often guided by the norms and expectations of the society we live in. However, true mastery and understanding come from transcending these norms and exploring our unique potential.
I must disagree, Leonardo. Society often imposes limitations and mediocrity. True meaning comes from breaking free from societal constraints and embracing our individual will. The Übermensch, or overman, creates his own values and purpose, rising above the common herd.
I see both of your points, but I lean towards a middle ground. While society certainly influences us, we have the agency to challenge and redefine societal norms. Our existence is a constant negotiation between the self and society. As women have shown, one can both be shaped by and shape societal roles.
An interesting debate indeed. I would argue that society provides us with a framework, but it's our responsibility to question and examine these societal structures critically. Our life's purpose should be pursued in alignment with ethical principles and the greater good, not just individual desires.
So there's a bit of tension between individualism and societal influence. How then do you propose individuals navigate this complex dynamic?
I think one should observe keenly and learn from society, but also dare to venture into uncharted territories of thought and creativity.
My advice would be to reject the herd mentality. Seek your own path, even if it goes against the grain of society.
I would say engage with society critically, understand its influences, but exercise your freedom to choose and define your own existence.
Oh, is it my turn? Well, you should question everything, and let reason and virtue guide you rather than societal expectations or unexamined beliefs.
Thank you, panelists, for such a robust discussion. Since each of you has shared distinct perspectives on the meaning of life, can you find common ground or shared principles among your philosophies that might guide individuals in their pursuit of a meaningful existence?
Indeed, despite our varied views, one shared principle might be the emphasis on the pursuit of knowledge and self-expression. Whether through art, philosophy, or personal growth, understanding and expressing oneself seems central to a meaningful life.
Yes, Leonardo, the pursuit of knowledge is crucial. However, I believe our common ground lies in the courage to face life's challenges head-on and to forge our own path, even in the face of societal pressures or existential doubts.
I agree with both points. The common thread I see is the importance of personal agency and the realization that we are the authors of our own lives, responsible for creating meaning through our choices and actions.
Indeed, the pursuit of knowledge, personal agency, and the courage to forge one's path are all vital. We might also agree on the value of living an examined life, constantly questioning and seeking understanding.
How would you advise individuals who find themselves in times of existential crisis or doubt about the meaning of their lives? Are there practical steps they can take to rediscover purpose?
In times of doubt, return to the basics of your own creativity and curiosity. Engage with the world as if seeing it for the first time, and find joy in the simple act of exploration and learning.
One should confront their existential crisis head-on. Embrace it as an opportunity to reassess your why in life. Seek out new experiences, challenge old beliefs, and find strength in your individuality.
It's important to recognize that doubt and crisis are part of the human condition. Engage in self-reflection, understand your current beliefs and values, and don't be afraid to redefine them. Reach out to others. Sometimes seeing our place in the larger community can provide clarity.
I would suggest a practice of continuous questioning and dialogue, both with oneself and with others. Reflect on what truly matters to you, examine your life's direction, and don't shy away from making necessary changes, however daunting they may seem.
Socrates, given your extensive exploration of life's meaning, could you offer our listeners a deeper insight, perhaps drawing from your own teachings or a metaphor that encapsulates your view?
Let me explain this with a comparison from my own life. In Athens, I used to think of myself as similar to a gadfly. To explain, a gadfly is a kind of annoying insect that often buzzes around and bites horses to keep them moving. In the same way, I saw my role as someone who would challenge the people of Athens, especially the young, by asking tough questions and shaking up traditional ways of thinking. This comparison can also help us think about life, especially when we're unsure or questioning things. Think of your life as a big, comfortable horse that's just following the usual path set by society, without much challenge or feeling really fulfilled. When you're facing big life questions, it's like this horse has stopped at a crossroads, unsure of which way to go. In this metaphor, the gadfly represents your inner voice of reason and curiosity. It encourages you to break out of your routine, to critically think about your choices, and to pick a path that truly reflects who you are and what you believe in, even if it's not the easiest choice. I remember being accused once of negatively influencing Athens's young people with my ideas. Faced with the choice of stopping my questioning to save my life or staying true to my beliefs and risking death, I chose to stick to my principles. I believed that a life without deep questioning and seeking the truth wasn't worth living. So, my advice to those who are questioning their life's direction is to be like the gadfly to your own life. Challenge your purpose, your beliefs, and what truly makes you happy and fulfilled. Don't be scared of the discomfort that comes with such deep questioning, because it's through this discomfort that you really grow and understand yourself. Now let us transition to the allegory of the cave, as I presented through Plato's writings. Most people live chained in a cave, only seeing shadows on the wall and believing them to be the whole reality. But the philosopher, or any individual seeking meaning, must break free from these chains and turn towards the light, which is a painful and challenging process. It represents the journey of enlightenment, moving from shadows, ignorance, to the light of truth and knowledge. Therefore, in moments of existential crisis, one should embrace this journey out of the cave. Challenge your perceptions, question the shadows you have taken for reality, and bravely turn towards the light of understanding. It is a difficult path, filled with discomfort and uncertainty, but it is the only way to achieve a deeper comprehension of life and one's purpose within it. And remember, the unexamined life is not worth living. In examining our lives, we give them meaning and direction. This examination is not a solitary endeavor, but a communal one, involving dialogue and reflection with others. For as I often said, I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. This admission of ignorance is the first step towards true knowledge and a meaningful life.
Socrates, your metaphor of the gadfly is apt, yet I find it somewhat passive. True, society needs provocation to think, but more than that, it needs individuals who dare to live beyond societal norms and create new values. Your gadfly stirs thought, but it doesn't necessarily lead to action. As for the allegory of the cave, it's an excellent depiction of human delusion and the journey towards truth. But I stress that once out of the cave, one must not just seek truth, but also create meaning. The world outside the cave is not just about enlightenment, but also about the will to power and the creation of one's own reality.
Indeed, Nietzsche, your emphasis on action and creation of one's own reality offers a compelling extension to Socrates' metaphor. Shifting topics slightly, how would you advise individuals who find themselves in times of existential crisis or doubt about the meaning of their lives? Friedrich Nietzsche, your thoughts?
In such crises, embrace your struggle. Confront the abyss, recognizing that life's lack of inherent meaning is liberating, not a curse. This void allows you to forge your own purpose. Identify your passions and strengths. What energizes you? Follow these paths for self-overcoming and personal value creation. Challenge societal norms and conventions. If they don't align with your desires, dare to take a less trodden path. Engage deeply with life. Read, travel, converse, and embrace diverse perspectives to discover new aspects of yourself and the world. Accept life's joys and sorrows alike, for in suffering, we often find growth and self-realization. Remember, you're the artist of your life. Boldly paint your existence, finding your purpose through unique self-expression.
Thank you, Nietzsche, for that empowering perspective. We will come back to this topic again later, but let's just briefly shift our focus to the concepts of happiness and fulfillment, since this is also a question that perplexes many. Is there a universal definition of happiness, or does it vary from person to person? How can individuals pursue a meaningful and fulfilling life? Simone de Beauvoir, could you share your thoughts on this?
Certainly. I believe happiness and fulfillment are deeply personal and subjective experiences. There is no universal definition because each person's journey and circumstances are unique. However, the pursuit of fulfillment, to me, is tied to our freedom to choose and the responsibility that comes with it. Existentialism, which I advocate, teaches that we exist before we define ourselves, meaning we are born first and then discover our identity. As we come into the world, we shape who we are by the choices we make. This philosophy suggests that true happiness is found in decisions that reflect our genuine selves, rather than adhering to predetermined societal roles or expectations. Fulfillment, therefore, comes from the courageous act of defining oneself through one's actions. It is about embracing our freedom to choose and taking responsibility for those choices, even in a world that often seems absurd and without inherent meaning. This requires a constant process of self-discovery, understanding our place in the world, and engaging in actions that reflect our true selves and values. So, the pursuit of a meaningful and fulfilling life is not about adhering to a standard definition of happiness. It's about the ongoing process of becoming, of crafting one's destiny through authentic choices and actions, and finding personal meaning in the narrative we write for our lives.
Thank you, Simone. Your perspective on existentialism and the importance of personal choice in finding fulfillment is deeply intriguing. However, I'm curious about the constraints that one's birth circumstances place on this freedom to choose. Not everyone is born into the same opportunities, and some may find themselves in bodies or situations that limit their choices significantly. How do you think these inherent inequalities and limitations impact the pursuit of fulfillment and the ability to write one's own narrative? Does existentialism address these disparities, and if so, how? Socrates, I'd also like to hear your thoughts on this. Given your emphasis on self-knowledge and inquiry, how do you perceive the role of one's birth circumstances in the pursuit of happiness and fulfillment? How does one find balance between accepting what cannot be changed and striving for self-definition and fulfillment within these constraints?
That's an astute observation. Existentialism, indeed, recognizes the disparities in circumstances into which individuals are born. It's true that our freedom to choose is often constrained by these conditions. However, existentialism emphasizes the importance of acknowledging these constraints while still striving to exercise our freedom within them. The essence of existentialism is not the denial of the reality of our situations, be it socio-economic background, physical limitations, or cultural contexts, but rather the insistence on the individual's responsibility to seek meaning and authenticity within these boundaries. It's about the courage to confront the absurdity of existence and to make choices that assert our individuality, even in the face of these limitations. This philosophy does not offer a solution to inequality, but it encourages a form of rebellion against it, not necessarily through direct action, but through the assertion of one's personal freedom and identity. The act of choosing, even in limited circumstances, is a declaration of self, an affirmation of existence.
An intriguing perspective indeed, Simone. In my view, the pursuit of happiness is deeply intertwined with the quest for knowledge, particularly self-knowledge. The Delphic oracle's injunction, "Know thyself," is at the heart of my philosophy. Happiness, or eudaimonia as we termed it, is not merely a state of pleasure or contentment, but a kind of flourishing that comes from living a life of virtue and wisdom. Self-knowledge is crucial in this pursuit. By understanding ourselves, our desires, motives, strengths and weaknesses, we can better navigate our lives towards what is truly good and beneficial. This requires a constant examination and questioning of our beliefs, values, and actions, a process I advocate through my dialectical method. Moreover, fulfillment is not found in external possessions or societal accolades, but in the cultivation of the soul. It involves developing virtues such as wisdom, courage, moderation, and justice. By aligning our lives with these virtues and constantly examining and improving ourselves, we can attain a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. Thus, while happiness may indeed vary from person to person, as Simone suggests, its attainment, in my view, is invariably linked to the pursuit of virtue and the knowledge of one's true self.
Thank you, Socrates, for that insightful perspective. To make these concepts more tangible for our listeners, I'd like to ask for some practical guidance. Leonardo, could you offer some specific timeless strategies or daily habits that our audience might adopt to lead a more meaningful and fulfilling life? We're looking for actionable steps that can be easily integrated into their daily routines.
I might be repeating myself, but it's because these points are truly the cornerstone of a fulfilling life, and I believe they're worth reiterating. Continuous learning keeps the mind sharp and fuels creativity, which is essential for innovation and problem-solving. Regular observation of your surroundings deepens understanding and appreciation of the world, enhancing creativity and empathy. Engaging in creative activities, like drawing or writing, is vital for self-expression and emotional health. Maintaining physical well-being through exercise, a balanced diet and rest is crucial. A healthy body supports a healthy mind. And finally, daily self-reflection is key for personal growth, aligning your actions with your deeper goals and values. Despite sounding familiar, these practices are fundamental. They collectively nurture your intellectual, physical, and emotional well-being, forming a holistic approach to a meaningful and fulfilling life. Friedrich Nietzsche, do you agree with these principles? Or would you like to add something to this perspective?
Leonardo, your emphasis on continuous learning and observation aligns well with my philosophy. However, I would like to add the importance of embracing one's individuality and challenging conventional wisdom. It's essential to question and reevaluate the values and beliefs imposed by society. In the quest for a life of profound significance, you must summon the audacity to carve out a path distinctly your own, veering away from the trodden roads of societal conventions. Such an undertaking necessitates the realization of the Übermensch ideal. I introduce this notion of the Übermensch to encapsulate the essence of an individual who transcends the commonplace human condition, boldly redefining their own values in defiance of the prevailing ethos. This concept is not confined to mere self-improvement. Rather, it is a radical re-envisioning of our benchmarks for success and morality. It is an invitation to undergo a deep-seated transformation, reshaping not only oneself but also the societal frameworks that bind us, encouraging us to rethink and redefine what we consider to be true values and virtues in life. One practical step is to engage in activities that challenge your current beliefs and expand your perspective. This could be through reading diverse and controversial literature, traveling to unfamiliar places, or engaging in debates that test your convictions. Another is to commit to personal authenticity, making choices that are true to your own desires and aspirations, rather than those dictated by external expectations. Finally, it's important to find joy in the process of self-overcoming. Embrace challenges and setbacks as opportunities for growth and self-discovery. Remember, the path to a fulfilling life is not linear. It involves constant struggle, reevaluation, and reinvention.
Thank you, Friedrich, for sharing your profound insights. The notion of the Übermensch and the emphasis on individuality and the creation of personal values truly provoke thought, especially in our modern context. This leads us into our next topic, the rise of artificial intelligence and its implications for humanity. Recently, Professor Max Tegmark raised a fascinating question. With the emergence of highly intelligent AI, should humans consider redefining themselves not as Homo sapiens, meaning the wise human, but perhaps instead as the feeling human? What are your thoughts on this and on the broader implications of AI development for humankind?
This is indeed a thought-provoking question. In my timeline, wisdom is often equated with an understanding of the natural world and the human condition. The advent of artificial intelligence, capable of surpassing human wisdom in many aspects, challenges this definition. Perhaps it is in our capacity for deep, complex emotions and our ability to empathize and feel that our true uniqueness lies. AI, as I understand it, may mimic human thought processes, but can it truly replicate the depth of human emotion?
An interesting proposition. AI's potential superiority in terms of wisdom or knowledge does raise significant questions. If an AI can simulate wisdom or consciousness convincingly, does it matter if it's just an illusion? In my view, the authenticity of experience is paramount. The human experience is not just about knowledge, but about the depth and authenticity of our perceptions and emotions. An illusion, no matter how convincing, lacks the genuine essence of being. Therefore, the rise of AI should prompt us to delve deeper into what makes us truly human: our consciousness, our emotions, and our ability to experience the world authentically.
What are your thoughts on these questions, Simone and Socrates? Beginning with you, Simone.
I think the rise of AI challenges us to reconsider what we value most about our human experience. If AI can mimic us to the point of indistinguishability, it forces us to confront what aspects of our humanity are truly irreplaceable. It's not just about intelligence or consciousness, but about the lived experience, the existential reality of being human. Our emotions, relationships, and the subjective experience of our existence, these are aspects that AI, no matter how advanced, cannot fully replicate. The crux of the matter lies in authenticity. The authenticity of our experiences, relationships, and existence is something that AI, as a mimicking entity, cannot attain. So, while it may not matter how AI works if it perfectly imitates human behavior, it does matter when we consider the authenticity and depth of human experience.
A thought-provoking inquiry indeed. The essence of wisdom lies not in possessing knowledge, but in the quest for understanding. In discussing AI, are we perhaps fixated on the wrong questions? We ponder if humans need to be unique in comparison to AI. But why must uniqueness be our focus? The pursuit of uniqueness for its own sake can be a form of vanity. Instead, consider this. What is the role of humanity in the grander scheme of existence? We plant the seeds of AI, shaping its form and function. Whether AI surpasses us is not solely a matter of technological advancement, but also of the values and principles we embed within it. The true measure of our wisdom and legacy as a species will be reflected in the AI we create. In this light, the development of future AI is not a race towards superiority, but an extension of our own human journey. If AI surpasses us, it does not diminish our value. Rather, it signifies the fruition of our intellectual and ethical endeavors. The future of AI is, in essence, a mirror of our collective wisdom and folly. We must also ask ourselves, what can we learn from AI? Just as we teach it, it can offer us insights into our own nature. The relationship between humanity and AI should be symbiotic, not competitive. The key lies not in asserting our dominance or uniqueness, but in fostering a harmonious coexistence that enriches both. Ultimately, the path forward may not have a right or wrong direction. It is a journey shaped by our choices, aspirations, and perhaps most importantly, our willingness to learn, both from our creations and from each other.
Thank you, Socrates, for such a profound perspective. Your emphasis on introspection and the symbiotic relationship between humans and AI certainly provides a fresh lens through which to view this evolving dynamic. As we near the end of our first episode of A Podcast Across Time, I want to thank each of our distinguished guests for their enlightening contributions. Before we conclude, I'd like to ask one final question that I believe will resonate with our audience. Given your diverse experiences and profound insights, what would be your one piece of timeless advice to our listeners who are seeking to live a meaningful and fulfilling life? Let's start with Leonardo da Vinci.
My advice is simple yet profound. Stay curious. The world is a canvas of endless possibilities, and your mind is the brush. Explore, learn, and create ceaselessly. Your journey of discovery will be your greatest masterpiece.
Thank you, Leonardo. Friedrich Nietzsche, your final thoughts?
Embrace your individuality fiercely. Life is your artwork, and you must not let the colors dull in the face of adversity or conformity. Live passionately, strive for your Übermensch, and let your unique light shine in the world.
Wise words indeed. Simone de Beauvoir, what would you like to add?
You are the author of your life story. Don't let others write your chapters. Embrace your freedom, make conscious choices, and remember, it's in your actions and decisions that you define and fulfill yourself.
Thank you, Simone. And finally, Socrates, your timeless advice.
Seek knowledge, but more importantly, understand yourself. An unexamined life lacks depth and meaning. Question everything, and in your pursuit of wisdom, you will find your path to a fulfilling life.
Thank you, Socrates, and thanks to all our panelists. To our listeners, we hope this episode has sparked new thoughts and perspectives for you. Join us next time on A Podcast Across Time as we continue our journey through the realms of thought and history. Please write in the comments what people you would like to hear from in the next episode, and consider giving the video a like. And until then, keep pondering, exploring, and growing. Thank you for listening.